Hello and welcome back to another episode of Man Coverage. This is Danzel Moore.
And I'm Derek Williams.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get right into the show. Well,
it's been an interesting basketball week. The Cavs lost again, like I've predicted. That team is falling apart. No stars, and LeBron's the only one scoring. So I wonder what's going to happen in the finals. The Kansas City Chiefs traded Marcus Peters to the LA Rams. Mm-hmm. That's some big news. And in the Warriors Thunder game, Zaza Pachulia with yet another questionable dirty play. Do you think Zaza Pachulia is the dirtiest player in the NBA?
I could argue that, but at the same time, you could really make the huge case, and it's not even a huge case. It's open. Everyone knows who it is. It's Draymond Green. Draymond Green has got to be the most dirtiest player in the NBA. I mean, when he's playing against and it's particularly with OKC. I mean, if you go back 2 years ago, he's fouling every game, and then he got suspended in the playoffs because of him playing dirty. If you ask me, it's Draymond Green. Nope, like hands down.
I would disagree. I would say Draymond Green is the most passionate. He's the most passionate on the Warriors, and sometimes his emotions gets to him, but I don't think his intentions are dirty. I feel like Zaza Pachulia, you go back to last year against the Spurs where he fell on Kawhi Leonard's knee and he was out for the series. And then you go back yesterday and you see him just fall on Russell Westbrook's leg, and
makes no sense.
It makes no sense. So I would say as far as intent is concerned, Zaza, the NBA needs to take a look at Zaza Pachulia because that can't continue. I don't want series to be compromised because he's a dirty player, and I don't know how long Russell Westbrook is out. I don't know how significant the knee is, but hopefully the Thunder aren't long without him because he is the nucleus of that team.
Jimmy Butler's out because of a knee injury. Yeah, so, I mean, it's serious.
A lot of injuries happening. Timberwolves were actually looking pretty good.
They were looking really good.
They were very formidable, but without Butler, they're just who they were last year. So all these players in the league is getting close to playoff time pretty soon. It's after the All-Star break, so we have enough footage and film on teams, and that's why the Cavs aren't as good because, when you have film on a certain team playing together, you know how to stop that down. And I really doubt that coaches are really shivering in their boots about Larry Nance Jr. and George Hill with LeBron as opposed to a Kyrie Irving and LeBron combination. But, those guys aren't good enough, and they're not going to win it. But anyways, my question to you is, so thus far, who is your MVP of the league in NBA?
I mean, even a blind man can see that James Harden right now is going to win the MVP. I mean, he's completely running away with it. There's nobody else in the NBA right now. I mean, I'm not going to say he's the best player in the NBA because that would be a lie. But right now, this man is playing basketball. I mean, we can get the Curtis Blow out here. Like, this man is out here playing with passion.
Now, let me ask you this. Is he even the most valuable player to his team over Chris Paul?
You could argue both sides.
They are putting up historic offensive numbers, and it's not ironic they do that when Chris Paul gets there. So are you sure he's the most valuable on the Rockets?
Well, last year he got runner-up for the MVP. Should have been co-MVP if you ask me. But last year, this man was still putting up big numbers, and this year he continues to put up big numbers. So, I mean, if you ask me, I think he is.
But is he the most valuable on his team?
Right now, if they lose Chris Paul, I don't see the Rockets
If James Harden got hurt and Chris Paul was the point guard, you do still think they would have that success with Chris Paul running that team?
Yes.
So you think they'll have success?
I think they will.
So
you could say that either way. So it really doesn't. It doesn't matter which way that you cut it or you slice it. You could still say that if James Harden is out for the finals or if he's out for the conference championship, which they are going to make it, they're going to verse the Warriors and they're going to beat the Warriors. But
in the Western Conference?
Oh, yes.
I think it's going to be OKC and Golden State.
I don't think OKC has enough.
No,
I don't think they have enough.
Let me tell you something about OKC. OKC plays down to competition. So on a normal night, say they'll play like the Utah Jazz. They'll lose to the Jazz. But
they play to the level of their competition.
But when it comes to the big moments, I believe in the playoffs, that OKC team is going to be hard to deal with because I don't care what anyone says. 82-game regular season is all cool. You're going to win. You're going to lose your games. But in the playoffs, it's about stars. And that's what the Cavs are lacking outside of LeBron is stars. And then OKC, you got Westbrook, who I know is going to bring it. You got Paul George, who you know is going to bring it. And you got Carmelo Anthony, who you know when a moment counts, he will be there.
Hands down.
Hands down. So that's 3 players right there where if I'm going into the playoffs with those 3 on my team, I got to feel good about that. I would put OKC over the Cavs. They're better than the Cavs. OKC are a playoff type of team.
I want you to explain this blasphemous statement that you just said right there. Now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are a totally different team. LeBron James, as I said last week, LeBron James is a totally different man whenever he's playing in the playoffs, period. It's just that time of year.
Until he doesn't have teammates and he loses, and then we start getting excuses.
If he was able to do it in 2007, he's able to do it again. That's all I'm saying. He had no help on that team.
Well, it's your man-to-man time. What do you have for us today?
Well, today I have a film that I'd like to show you, and this film is actually going to be a part of my man-to-man. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the best football players I've seen in a very, very long time. He happens to be a part of my family. He is my brother, David Moore. So we can go ahead and get this clip rolling for you, and then let's go ahead and let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at it. Takes a kick return from about the 5-yard line, makes a cut, makes a few tackles miss, and he's up and down the sideline. This young man right here is so elusive. He's only 5'9". He's about 205 pounds. Look at this. The way that the offense is set up, he has really no blocking. Gets to the outside, is completely untouched, and takes it all the way down the sideline to the end zone. This young man can play some crazy, crazy football. I mean, it's like whenever he gets the ball, it's like trying to tackle a wall. Look how big he is. Look, watch this play. What? Can't bring this man down. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. It's like you got 5 guys over there, and no one can still bring this guy down. Look, he takes the ball from about the 5-yard line again, gets up the sideline, nowhere to go. Makes a move of his own and carries the team for an extra 5 yards. This young man is amazing. Catches the ball, he can catch out of the backfield. Not too many running backs from nowadays can really do that. So what I'm saying here is this young man right here, if you have to be literally smoking a new type of drug to not have this young man on his team. Look, stays on his feet and gets to the end zone. I don't understand this. This is absolute madness. Look, the other guy wasn't paying attention, takes the ball from him, gonna take the ball and then gonna move down the sideline, breaks a couple of tackles, stays on his feet, is still moving, still churning. Another kick return. Back here, this man can do it all. He can run, he can catch, he can block, he can do anything. I mean, this young man, I love talking about him. This young man is going to be winning the Heisman someday. Trust and believe me. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This is a team Lackawanna right here. This team was a national championship team. Very great college team. So, I mean, I think that they can play in any college, actually in America. But that young man right there, David Moore, and I hope you're watching. David Moore, you wait and see what God has in store for you because you have a bright, bright future in front of you on that football field. He's going to be attending The Ohio State University next fall, and trust and believe, Urban Meyer, you've got a great one coming towards you.
Speaking of Ohio State, I like their basketball team this year going into the tournament.
Keita Bates-Diop, that young man is going to win the Big Ten MVP. That guy is just, The man is so big and so physical when he gets the ball. And he's able to shoot a three-pointer. And we talked about that last week, big guys who can shoot.
Threes, yeah.
That is going to be the decider whether he goes high or low in the draft. And right now, he is selling himself. And that's what you got to do nowadays.
Who is we're going to do way too early predictions for the NCAA tournament, March Madness. Who's your dark horse to win it all?
My Final Four is a little unorthodox, but I do like, I got to go with Penn State in the Final Four.
Penn State. But
if not them, the next best team, and I'm going to say Ohio State University.
I can see it.
Them, maybe Villanova will get back there.
What do you think? What about Trae Young in Oklahoma?
I don't see him making it out of the Sweet 16. I don't see him. He's the best player in the NBA. I mean, in the NCAA, he's the best player right now. But I don't see him making it out of the Sweet 16. Just the way that they've been playing. He's gotten back on to where he was, but right now, I don't see them making it out. Doesn't have the tools.
I think I got North Carolina going back to back.
They could go back.
Yeah, but it's way too early. But brackets coming soon. March Madness is on the way, so we're gonna have an eye out for that. But I'm gonna ask you this: you got if LeBron wins the championship this year, which is I don't think is gonna happen. Let's be honest. I don't think he has a good team around him. He would if he proves me wrong, and he goes out and beats the Warriors with this team. Does that elevate him over Jordan?
Oh, he's the greatest basketball player of all time.
Of all time.
If you ask me, he's the greatest basketball player of all time. Because here's the thing. When did Michael Jordan win his first championship? 91, right? Won his first championship in 91. And I want to talk about this. Michael Jordan won his first championship in 1991. In 1984, the man came into the league. Came in from North Carolina. So what that means is this man got beat and eliminated in 94, 95, in 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, and 1990. This man was eliminated. He lost the first round in the playoffs when he was in 85, and then he didn't even have an appearance in 84. In 86, first round loss to the Celtics. 87, lost to the first round to the Celtics again. I don't understand it. They say that this man is great, but LeBron's fourth year in the league, this man makes an appearance to the conference championship. His fourth year in the league. Michael Jordan wins his first finals in 1991. He won against if you ask me, a very sorry Lakers team. Magic Johnson, it was his last year in the league because Magic Johnson had AIDS. James Worthy and Brian Scott were out because of injuries. On top of that, the next year, they win over the Lakers, and they're truly that team wasn't full. It's not a full team. So I mean, he's just winning a championship over a team that doesn't have all the tools. That's like you going and you're trying to fix a pump or anything like that. If you're trying to fix a technical equipment and you don't have all the equipment with you to fix it. And then when you actually fix it, then you can call yourself, okay, I am one of the greatest mechanics of all time. Something like that. The next year, Michael Jordan in 1992 wins over the Trailblazers. Who do they have? Clyde Drexler, and he was the only star on the team. And then the next year, Ken Duckworth? That man was trash. He's not an all-star. I mean, Jerome Kersey, he was trash. 1996, the Phoenix Suns. They had Charles Barkley, they had Kevin Johnson, and they had Dan Marley. Bro, that was no competition. None of those players that I just named were competition for Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all time. I mean, and then he retired from the NBA. He went to go play basketball. But here's the thing about that, though. The thing that they don't tell everybody is the Bulls were not just we just had Michael Jordan. The Bulls were an all-around great team. So what they had was they won 58 games the next year without him. And then the next year that happened, because he only retired for 2 years and came back, the next year that happened, they won 56 games. And then they still went to the conference championship, and they went 7 games with the Knicks. So I don't understand that. People sit here and they say that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time when he's had a great team all around him. He won against the Supersonics when he came back. They did a three-peat. And then the Supersonics didn't play any real competition that year. So you can't really argue that he's really a great, great player when he's not playing any great competition. That's 2 years in a row he hasn't played any team that had real competition to back him down. I mean, I don't understand the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz had a 35-year-old and a 34-year-old, John Stockton and Karl Malone. They were old. You can't beat anybody when you're old. That's like you going out, you're playing in the NFL, and you're 40 years old. You're not going to be able to get passes off. You're not going to be able to get anything off like that. That makes no sense. And then they did a three-peat against the Utah Jazz, and it was the rematch, and it was the finals. They didn't win anything whenever it came to just coming down to the wire, and it was just Michael Jordan had ended up playing, and then, yeah, there was the flu game. The flu game, yeah, you can argue that he did great. He had 34 points in that game. But at the same time, he had other people around him to carry him as a team. It wasn't just the Michael Jordan show. That's absurd. And Kobe Bryant, you want to argue that Kobe Bryant is better than LeBron James? I don't believe it. I don't believe it for one bit. Because Kobe Bryant, Shaq, he had Shaquille O'Neal. You know who got them 3 MVPs when they was both playing on the same team? Shaq. 3 MVPs. On top of that, Michael Jordan has been to 6 finals. Michael Jordan has not won. He has not won 6 MVPs. Michael Jordan don't win all them MVPs every time. Scottie Pippen won some. LeBron James has been to 8 finals. And had he won all 8 of the finals, would we be arguing right now would we even be arguing this conversation that he's the best? Exactly. And people nowadays, old heads, I hear them talking all the time saying, well, you wasn't alive in my generation. You didn't see this and this and that. We talked about it on the first show. The game of basketball evolves every single year. Yeah. It evolves. Technology gets better. And people don't understand that when Kobe Bryant lost his first final, when he lost to the Pistons in 2004, they didn't even, it wasn't even like it was a challenge. They lost 4-1. That team had no chance. And then Kobe Bryant's over there crying on the sideline, talking about, we got to get better, we got to get better. Man, guess what happened the next year? LeBron James came in there and beat that same Pistons team. You got to crown the king, man. Okay. And I don't understand. They put the Pistons out, and then guess what? They may have gotten swept in the finals to the Spurs, but hey, the man made it, and he had no help on that entire team. I mean, every time that Michael Jordan played in the finals, he had at least maybe one Hall of Famer on that team, on the opposite team that he was versing. Every time this man LeBron goes into the finals, there's always more than one superstar on that team. They had to put 2 MVPs and 5 All-Stars to beat this man LeBron James. LeBron James, you got to crown the king. That is the best player in the NBA history, hands down.
Now, that's an interesting point, and I'm going to say something very gutsy, very gutsy. There's a difference between the greatest player of all time and the best player of all time. The greatest player is accomplishments as far as like numbers and statistics. And the best player is more of a talent perspective when you're looking at it. So like the Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, greatest, best is arm, you know what I mean? So, and you bring up LeBron and Jordan, and don't get me wrong, LeBron, great. Jordan, probably the greatest player of all time. But as far as the best player that I have ever seen, and how many rings does LeBron have? 3, right? You know who else is going to win their 3rd ring this year? Who? The Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry. And it's really funny. It's really funny because the Warriors have a dynasty. And don't get me wrong, they're going to win a lot. They're going to win at least two more rings this year and probably next year until the league figures out what to do with these Warriors. Until the contracts expire, the Warriors are going to keep winning. The Cavs have no answer for them. There's not a team in the East that has an answer for them. The only hope that anti-Warrior fans have is that OKC can beat them. But we'll see. But here's the thing. Stephen Curry is on his pace to win his 3rd ring. Now, you want to say, oh, he has Kevin Durant. Well, did Kevin Durant join Steph Curry to win a ring, or did Steph join Kevin Durant? Okay, so Steph won without KD, so that's out the way. And I don't want to hear about, oh, Kyrie got hurt, Kevin Love. You had LeBron James. You had LeBron James, and you had Draymond Green, and you had Klay Thompson. And I will argue that those 2 guys were not the stars that they are now back then. Okay, so boom. So Steph Curry, and he didn't win the Finals MVPs. I understand that. But at the same time, who was the most valuable player on the Warriors ever since they became good? It's been Steph Curry. Right? Without Steph, they don't win. Without Steph, they don't go 88.
The first 2 years. And I don't even believe he was the MVP the 2nd year.
Without Steph, do they go 73-9?
I think they do.
So hold on.
I think they do.
Without Steph Curry, you'll go 73-9?
That man, Kevin Durant, is a monster.
Kevin Durant was not on that team. Kevin Durant was not on that team.
Are you talking about the 2016?
I'm talking about the team that went 73-9 and lost the finals.
2016.
Without Steph Curry, do they go 73-9?
2016, no.
So Steph Curry led that team to the greatest record in NBA history. He's on pace to win his 3rd ring and his 2nd. Over LeBron James, matter of fact. So it's not like he's beating scrubs. He's getting rings over LeBron's head.
They have a great team. They have a great overall team.
But where did it start? Where did it start, though? Kevin Durant just got there last year. Where did it start? They won without him. he made Klay Thompson better. He made that whole team better. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, and his shooting overweighs like his ability to get to the basket, his ability, his handles, and his defense is very underrated. There was one year he led the league in steals, so his defense is really good. And
Steph Curry's defense is
yes,
good.
yes. He don't now listen. He can't, like, when it goes against like Kyrie Irving and Russell Westbrook. You can't guard. No one can guard those guys. But as far
Michael
as
Jordan
defense,
could, and LeBron James could.
so LeBron James can guard Russell Westbrook.
Oh yes.
Oh, we'll talk about that another day. But as I'm saying, Steph is on his pace to win his 3rd ring, so that means he's going to get the achievements and the rings. He's going to catch up. He's going to catch up to LeBron in the rings.
Are you serious right now?
And he's on pace to become like the greatest scorer we've ever seen. He can shoot from anywhere on the court.
James Harden
what can't
is on
Steph
set
do?
to be the
What
greatest
can't
scorer of all
what
time.
can't Steph do?
Steph
What
Curry,
can't Steph? He's
he can't.
from a-
I'll tell you one thing he can't do. Guard LBJ.
Listen,
LeBron James.
on-
Yeah, I'll tell you another person he can't guard. James Harden can't guard him. He's single-handedly
okay.
the greatest ISO player in NBA
in today's
history.
NBA, you can't name one player that can just straight up guard someone one-on-one. It's a defensive scheme.
I can name two.
You can't, like, when you go into the say you had Boston versus the Celtics. I mean, no.
The
You know what I
Celtics?
meant. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
The Celtics versus the OKC.
Yeah.
If Russell Westbrook can't guard Kyrie Irving one-on-one, Kyrie Irving can't guard Russell Westbrook one-on-one. It's an offensive league. You can't guard one-on-one anymore. It's zone, it's schemes, it's screens, it's all types of stuff. So
You need an all-around player.
So to say, oh yeah, he can't guard him, I don't want to hear that defensive argument. I'm talking about from a straight talent perspective. In today's scoring NBA league, you cannot tell me you've seen a better player than Steph Curry who can shoot anywhere on the court, who's on his pace to win his 3rd ring, and he won without Kevin Durant. So we can't say, oh yeah, the only reason he was winning because he has Kevin Durant. And I'll say this: he will win his first.
We can argue that
he
now.
will win his first Finals MVP this year, and it's going to be set in stone. It's going to be set in stone.
Steph
Steph
Curry
Curry
will
is
win
the
the
greatest
MVP?
player from a talent perspective.
Steph Curry is going to win the Finals MVP.
Yes, you heard it here. You heard it.
Over Draymond Green.
You heard it. Steph Curry. This is his year.
Over Klay Thompson.
Okay.
Over Kevin Durant.
He will. He will show up. He will
Something
show up.
is wrong with
He will show
you.
up.
I can't believe what
He
you're
will show
saying
up.
right now. Steph Curry.
Steph is going to win his 3rd ring this year. He's going to win the MVP, and we're going to have to look at this man like I'm tired of him not getting the respect because he's small and he doesn't dunk every time he gets to the cup. He can get to the cup. He can shoot. There's nothing he can't do. Offensively, he's a juggernaut. No one can guard one person one-on-one in today's NBA.
My head is spinning right now.
You guys heard it here first.
We're going to have to go to the next segment. Derek, you go ahead and take it away.
That's going to wrap up today's show. Next time on Man Coverage, I have a treat for you guys. So you guys stay tuned. And I'm Derek Williams.
I'm Denzel Moore.
And this is Man Coverage. See you guys later.